1. You are listening to Moonhawk Studios Presents.
Hello, is this thing live?
It better be.
It is.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents, the professionally unprofessional podcast.
I'm a failure at
Had us
life.
we would have started 4 minutes ago, but Teddy had us on the wrong channel.
Again.
Take a drink.
We have a marginally better excuse this time, but still not a very good excuse.
I swear, guys, it'll never happen again unless I'm tired, or it's a holiday, or I'm distracted, or, hey, what's that?
At least this time it was another channel on YouTube and not the completely wrong site.
I'm not sure how that's better. Anyway, I'm your host, Mac Paladin, and allegedly we have a great show for you tonight.
I guarantee nothing.
With me in the studio, as always, is my good friend Adam.
Okay, you sure you got everything right this time?
I hope. It's the thing lit up saying we're live.
Yep, we're about a minute and a half into it.
I'm watching it right now.
Good. All right.
Ogre is here.
Sorry, I was in the wrong chat. What's happening?
Like you.
Teddy Fan is here for the moment.
I know how computers work, I swear.
Got the Galax.
Yes.
And, of course, something Blue Bomber Twilight Winter.
Hello.
All right, so before we get to the whole guest thing, we got to do our usual rigmarole. Adam, why don't you start us off with the news?
Oh, geez, the news. I suppose the big news was Twitch was down for most of the day. So, yeah, that's why we're streaming on YouTube this week instead of Twitch. So, and had to come up with that solution pretty hastily, but it's nothing too difficult. Nowhere near as bad as when TalkShoe imploded and we had to move to Twitch in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd never want to do that again.
We didn't lose any entire shows this time.
No. In fact, we got our show right there. It's 2 hours. And I see the 2 minutes we recorded on my channel with this show.
We can delete it later.
I can delete it anytime.
Yeah.
So, and outside of that, not really much in the way of news.
Okay. Ogre?
We had our vacation last weekend. Went up to Lake Erie. It was very nice. Not as good as last year. My other niece and nephew couldn't make it. So it kind of felt a little emptier without them. But we still had fun. I actually fell asleep on the porch up there in a rocking chair a couple times looking out on the lake, so I can't say it was a total loss. Let's see. This weekend is Naka and Barry's wedding. So I picked up my rental suit yesterday. Tomorrow is our rehearsal dinner. Friday we go out for the quote-unquote bachelor party, which is just basically go to another restaurant, hang out for a bit, and then break up for the night. I know, the wild bunch over here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the stereotypical bachelor party is not so much a thing outside of certain specific segment of the population,
So movies.
and possibly like rich douche bros or something.
Yeah. But let's see. And then Saturday is the wedding, and then Sunday and Monday are days.
Sleep till you die.
Yeah. So
Is the sleep of death.
looking forward to all that being over with, as much as I'm assuming they're looking forward to it since they have all the work to deal with.
Why didn't we just go to the courthouse?
They said that the other day, so they're very well aware of that. We could have just done this, but whatever, we're stuck with it now. Let's see, we recorded Monday, we recorded 7 videos. Our usual is either 3 or 4, but we did 7 because we're taking off next week because don't really want to bug them during their weekend, and especially with all the wedding plans finally being off their back so they can actually relax for once. So got that all squared up. Maybe hang out with a couple other friends on Monday. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Other than that, not much. Still trying to force myself. Well, don't want to say force, but still trying to get myself to play Story of Seasons, Trio of Towns, because I fucking want to, and I will.
I'm like, it doesn't sound like you want to.
I want to, it's just that I'm kind of... when it comes to naming stuff, I'm really bad at it, so I'm trying to come up with a theme with stuff. I figured out some, so I'll stick with that, but...
Free company
name-
members, wait, what?
Just name everything Bob.
No, I will not. I at least figured out to call my farm Bastock Farms, and the Final Fantasy XI nerd in me is happy, because fuck you, Bastock was awesome. Yeah, because we're the best, y'all suck. Let's see, and Final Fantasy XIV's been kind of just at that point where I'm like, I'll get on for this and that, and then I'll call it a day. At least until the next patch comes in. I just do this every patch cycle, like that last month, I'm like, and then the day of the patch is like, But other than that, that's it for me, so.
Okay, Teddy Fan, you're our next victim.
Yeah, well, some news from, I guess, last week, since we didn't have a show, is we got a new kitten.
Woo!
Oh man.
Her name is Garcia. My mom got her from a shelter, and she when we brought her home, she was like wanting to hide everywhere, and now she's like, "Oh hi, will you cuddle me?"
I was going to say either you got her from a shelter or from a Grateful Dead concert.
So yeah, that's been a thing. Other than that, it's been a real quiet, I guess, week, 2 weeks. So yeah, not a whole
Okay.
lot going on my end.
Doodles, no.
And apparently Max looking to get rid of a cat.
I have a cat for sale. Cheap.
Only $1,500, right?
That'll probably cover my next week's expenses. Oh boy. All right. Well, if you got nothing else, Galix, what have you got?
Well, I got my copy of the Starfinder role-playing game core rulebook the other day, which is it's by the same people who do Pathfinder. It's in the same setting, but I think a couple thousand years in the future, and it's science fantasy themed, a la Star Trek-ish, Star Wars-ish mostly. So that's interesting. It's interesting because they actually changed the mechanics more than I initially expected, and I wonder if they're testing things out for a future for future versions of other systems or anything. But I haven't read the whole book yet, and I certainly haven't had a chance to play it. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that's different. I also picked up Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which I started to play, but I had the sound down, and then there was a cool opening cutscene, and I decided I want to replay that with the sound. And I didn't mention this last week because we had no show, but my parents are away, so I'm watching over the house, and that means that I too have a cat who is being a little bit of a nuisance sometimes because she's used to having a retired guy at home paying attention to her all the time. So I took some time off work and haven't been going out as much, but she's still kind of a brat sometimes.
Hi, welcome to cats.
Yes. She's very sweet and I like having her around, but I can't give her enough attention just myself. But yeah, other than that, pretty quiet week.
All right. Well, Twilight.
I've been enjoying the much cooler weather that we've been having for almost a week now. So now, besides that, some family health concerns have come up that I won't be getting into now. But things are looking well so far. Besides all that, I've been playing games for Fragments, and not much else been going on. So that'll be it for me.
Well, I'm glad I had such a powerful lead-in from all of you guys.
Sorry,
Well,
they can't all be winners. And we didn't want to steal your thunder.
Of course. I was all like, yeah, I had a week.
I didn't
So
die
bad.
this week. 10 out of 10.
Would do it. Would week again. Oh my gosh. Well, of course, the big news is this week, last night, well, it ended up being 9:30. Thank you, YouTube, and all of your nonsense. The big debut of episode 1 of season 1 of Starship Moonhawk aired last night at about 9:30 Pacific time. And so far, the reviews have been rave.
Yay.
I have a quote from Adam I'll be using. He rated it as being professionally unprofessional, which is exactly what we're striving for. It got that polish, but still retains that underground feel. So I'm using that in every piece of media I can get my hands on. But I don't know how to. I don't know if I'm really just understating this when I say this, but this is 26 years in the making, trying to get to this point, and it's still not as animated as I would have liked it to be. But considering our budget, woohoo!
Wait, what budget?
I believe that's the joke. We were dealing with a micro budget of under $1,000, and we managed to put out an 18.5-minute long animated episode of a show.
Woo.
With professional voice acting. So I'm pleased as punch. I mean, it took some doing. I ended up having to play 3 different roles myself, using a voice modulator.
Aren't those the best?
Basically fully Trey Parkered this. I saw their process a couple seasons back, where how they do it now, and it's like, yeah, we don't even really bother trying to augment our voices naturally. He just reads the lines, and then they modulate it into the sound of the character on the show. And I'm just like, wow, I really wish I hadn't seen that, because that really kills the magic right there. especially since Seth MacFarlane does it the old-fashioned way still.
Yeah, sorry, I had to remove the cat from my room, but I actually did watch the first thing, and it looks pretty good. The only thing that really stood out to me was the line thickness scaling, but obviously when you're working from existing art, that's the kind of thing you get. But the voice acting was actually really solid, so. And
Yeah,
the general degree of animation was definitely above what a lot of these things have.
Yeah, Adam and I were talking about that last night. It really, like Adam, you said you weren't sure what most motion comics actually do in terms of animation, right?
Yeah, I haven't read too many in the way of motion comics because they're motion comics that kind of beat the point.
Right. Like some of the examples I've given is that HBO put out a Spawn motion comic, and I actually have this on Laserdisc. That was pretty solid, but most of them will use like little more than zoom tricks, panning and scanning tricks, and maybe some parallax. Like they'll separate out the characters from the background, from intermediate objects and stuff like that, and then pan them at different rates so that way it gives that sort of parallax effect. But true animation in motion comics is not really done. So we created a hybrid project that has a little bit of everything in it. And the outer space FX shots were just like, whoa. So, Keith really outdid himself with the starship animations and with the planets, nebulas, and other stars and stuff. And the exploding space station was a treat too, because we actually had to pull the artwork from Act 2. And then turn it into something different, because I took in the original comic, I took the lazy way out, and the explosion was just a stock one I made back in 2005.
Nice.
Like, where's the debris? What blew up? It's just a conflagration in space. Deal with it.
Did you put the sunglasses on?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the other problem was, I think if you actually go back and look at the comic today and say, having not seen the animation, you would say, what the hell's going on here? The end of that sequence, because it never ever came off the way I wanted it to. No matter how many times I quote unquote rebooted the series, that station being destroyed was just like, yeah, we'll just go with it. I tried to bust out my full Jim Lee on that panel of the beam piercing the station and bodies flying out and stuff like that, but it's just an incoherent mess. So Keith's animations actually had a pretty significant impact on the final product. Now it's clear what the hell's happening there. It's like, oh, they're attacking the space station and it blew up. Okay. So excellent point to leave as a cliffhanger. And now our real goal, and I'll wrap this up in just a moment here. Our real goal will be to use this as proof of concept to get actual investors next time around. We're still going to go for a crowdfunding event, but we're going to try to open up the stakes a little bit, because in order to get episode 2 through 12 made, we need to get about 10 to 20 grand a piece.
And would those still be higher end motion comics, or would those be
new? I'm already contacting people to try to get them together. I have a 3D background artist. I have our original 2D background artist, Larry Cathy, and Anderson Soares, the gentleman who is going to be the new line artist for Starship Moonhawk. Once we run out of, he's the guy who did the line art for the sketch pages I posted to complete that new scene, so we can move back to the backlog archive for the next 6 to 10 weeks. Anderson he has experience making assets for different programs like Toon Boom, Harmony, and Anime Studio. So we're going to go full-on Archer style, but with anime-themed assets. So we got to create heads where it's forward view, three-quarter view left, three-quarter view right, side left, back, top, bottom, torso, arms, segments, hands, all that stuff. Create those assets. Have different hands, of course, for different motions, and use Anime Studio to actually articulate those pieces. It's going to be a lot easier if we have those marionette pieces constructed beforehand, so that way we can quickly put together the episodes and have a production schedule more like a season of an actual animated television show. Now, for whatever reason, the Japanese can make this stuff really quickly, but take a long time between seasons of a show, if it ever gets a second season. Whereas American animation, they seem to be able to crap out anywhere from 13 to 25 episodes a season of animated shows and still keep relative quality. So we're striving for something in between. Have at least 12 episode seasons every year going forward, possibly starting next year, because it's going to be quite some time. Right now, even if we get the 10 to 20 grand this time, we're only going to have a team of 5, maybe 7 people who are going to be working on this. So it's going to be a little slow going for the second episode. So we're going to keep going, putting these out, and as the ratings and awareness improves, we're going to consistently add more people to the team. So there is a very strong possibility that there will be motion comic elements to episode 2 as well, but we're going to continue to reduce that until it's a fully animated series. All right.
Yeah, that should be. It's an ambitious plan, but at least you have a proof of concept to show around this time.
Yeah, a lot of the actors, and producers, and technical people who gave us advice and committed tentatively to help us in the future have already said that they're very, very impressed with what we've accomplished on such a little budget, and that they're very optimistic about our chances of success in the future now that this exists. So, extraordinarily pleased about that, because that the first real ray of hope in about 2.5 years now. Ever since we started trying to do the audiobook, the Space Destroyer Hunter fiasco, my fallout with one of the producers, and so on and so forth. So, very exciting things happening, and we're already over 60 views, which is not bad for less than 24 hours. Considering the fact that the teaser act, when we put that out back in April, cumulatively to this day only has 250 views. So I'm going to keep flogging it on social media. You'll be seeing it appear a lot on Twitter. So keep an eye on that, and we'll go from there. All right. Well, enough about that. We have a guest.
Yay, yes.
We have a lovely young lady joining us who has her own YouTube channel. She does a lot of machinima work and has videos and commentaries on games like Final Fantasy XIV. I'm looking at her Patreon right now. It's very impressive. I'd like to welcome to the program Zepla Din.
Hi. Good
Hey,
morning.
Good morning for you. Good evening for our fans in the States, huh?
Yeah, everyone in
Yeah.
between there, right?
Yeah. Everyone around the world is morning somewhere, which is here.
You can talk to us in about 8 hours.
I figured that if I had gone on much longer, you might have fallen asleep.
Oh no, I've got my coffee here. I'm ready to bounce off the walls, so we're good.
There you go. Okay, so let's start out with the more obvious questions. What is your channel all about, really?
My channel is all about Final Fantasy XIV. It is just about comedy. It's a comedy channel. I started it about a year ago. Maybe 2 years. How long ago did I say? Let's go with a year.
Yeah, when did I start this thing? God, who
When did I-
cares?
Yeah, right. I always do this thing when I'm talking about the past, where I'm like, yesterday. I started it yesterday. Like, if I don't know the day, I'm just like, yesterday, like general yesterday, because does it matter, really, at this point?
It was
You
a
know, yesterday's
day that
gone.
happened. The sun rose. It fell. It's all
It
good.
doesn't matter now. It's gone. It's gone pecan.
And now we're
But
talking
anyway,
philosophy.
about the channel. About the channel. Yeah, so it's comedy. Anyway, I think what I was gonna say was that when I started it, it was like about gardening and game, and I had no idea that it would end up becoming what it is today. But I just started making funny videos because they were silly and fun to make, and people liked them, and I liked making them. So Bob's your uncle. Here we are now, today, and yeah. Now I'm also streaming. I started streaming in October, last October. I remember when that happened, because I was actually pretty terrified to start streaming at first. I
Oh,
was
trust me,
terrified
we all are.
in the beginning to, yeah, I understand. I understand. It's so much pressure, so much pressure.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, even when I started, I was afraid to be on mic, to hear my own voice on a microphone. And if you go back and you watch my first couple of videos, you will find that I sound like a robot because when I'm nervous, I just I turn into a robot. It's kind of this weird condition that I have where it's like all my blood and stuff turns into circuitry and like I literally become a robot. Like that's not a it's not a metaphor like that,
Beep,
but that's
beep,
what
beep,
happened.
beep.
So yeah, exactly. It's like if the way that I think to myself is like if I become a robot, then I won't feel nervous, and it's kind of true, a little bit. It's a little bit. But yeah, that's what the channel's about. And through streaming has been really fun thing for me to do too. Where I just kind of, honestly, the way that I stream is probably a little different than the way that most people would stream, because I pretty much just use it as a vehicle to talk and ramble about just literally any random thing. It's pretty rare that I'm actually paying attention to the game when I'm playing it.
That's one of
And
the beautiful
that
things
shows
about
in my
Final
performance.
Fantasy, though. You don't really have to pay attention to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It can be very zen if you just want to like think about other stuff. So people just love me in raids and stuff. They just love that. Me
What's that
paying attention.
mechanic? Boom.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But that's fine. I mean, as long as you're having fun, having a good time, that's what matters. And lately, I'm kind of wanting to try to branch out a little more from Final Fantasy 14, and I've started doing some more experimental stuff, and more of that kind of stuff is in the works, so I can, kind of broaden my audience
Mhm.
a bit.
Now,
But
are you also an artist, or because I see a bunch of original works and stuff on like your Patreon page and stuff like that? Do you also do your own artwork, or do you hire out for that kind of stuff?
um, can you be specific? Like what kind
Well,
of art?
I was looking at your header and stuff like that. I just was like,
Oh no. The header is done by a wonderful artist, Ruinous Chrono Wing, and the link to her Tumblr and stuff should be in my Twitch channel panels. But she's on Twitter at Ruinous. I mean, if you need her link, you can ask me. No, I'll send it to you. But she's just amazing. She does all my art. I do art. Yeah. I do MS Paint art.
nice. Hey, there's nothing
Uh,
wrong with that.
people love it. I mean, it's
I made entire comics out of that.
oh, I'm sorry, what?
I said I made entire comic pages out of that long ago.
Oh yeah. I love MS Paint because I feel like it really it's the best way for me to express myself and how I feel. It's good for that. It's just so full of emotion, everything that you make in there.
Works shockingly well with a tablet.
Oh really? I don't have a tablet. I don't have a tablet yet. I'm actually trying to learn how to really draw. But that's slow going. Like right now I can barely draw a straight line, so I'm just like trying to draw boxes, 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 like so many boxes, and it's boring. And but you got to learn the basics before you swim or run or whatever. Walk before you run. That's what I meant to say.
Words are hard.
Yep. So yeah, I don't think I think it's gonna be a long time before I'm able to like do commissions or anything like that. Like we're far, far away from any of that.
All right. Hey,
All right.
man.
Yeah, I get you. So, what were you thinking when you first started YouTube? Were you just gonna like have some fun, or were you like wanting to get popular?
Honestly, I mean, I'll be real with y'all. I was going through pretty rough time at the time. I had just left a job that was just terrible for me, and I started playing Final Fantasy 14 because it's a relaxing game, and I was just trying to like not freak out all the time at that point. Um, and I started gardening in Final Fantasy 14 because that's a really relaxing thing to do. And I like flowers and pretty colorful things and stuff like that. So obviously gardening was for me. But gardening, like anything else in this game, uh, pretty much everything in Final Fantasy 14 is like very, very complex. Like sometimes excessively complex, and that's great. But sometimes it can be confusing for a new player. And so I looked on YouTube trying to find guides for gardening, and I didn't find anything that was like quite simple enough for a person like me to understand. So I decided to go ahead and make my own guide for the gardening, and I did it just to be helpful. Like that was it. Like I was like, this helped me, maybe it will help other people, and I made it, and it ended up being like kind of more silly than I had thought it would, just because that's just like my natural way of doing things, and people liked it, and I really liked making it. And so I made more, and then I was like, well, what else can I make videos on? And in the beginning, I was trying to be genuinely helpful. Like I was like, well, what do I know about that I can do a guide about? And so I was like, well, I made a free company. I could talk about how to do that. And eventually, when I ran out of ideas for like, basically when I realized that there was not that much that I'm like an authority on in the game, I was like, okay, I'll just devote myself fully to the comedy stuff because I asked myself like I can't do like how to play guides, right? Like I can't do guides where I pretend like I know what I'm talking about because I definitely don't. Like I really don't. I was like, well, I can do guides about how to suck. Like I can do guides about how to be terrible at this game. And so that's kind of what ended up happening. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And so here we are. Yeah, I've really enjoyed making. I enjoy all the editing, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I was about to
I
say not many
developed a
people
video
enjoy
edit.
the editing.
I tell people that, and people are like, "What? You like the editing part?" I'm like, "That's my favorite part. That's the best part for me because
And
that's the
then they
part where I
look at
have
you
to
like
like,
you grew a third head, and
yes." I mean, that's to me, that's the most like relaxing part. Because I mean, everything before that is just hell for me because I mean, usually in my week, like Monday and Tuesday, I spend these days like just um having this existential crisis for all of Monday and Tuesday, and sometimes also Wednesday, where I'm just like, I need a video idea. I need to write. And I'm just like, I spend it writing and then throwing away drafts and then like hating what I wrote and, like the general writer's hell that lasts Monday through Wednesday. Sometimes just Monday, it depends. But there are honestly many, many weeks where I'll have all of Monday where I just like didn't come up with anything that I liked. All that is like not fun to me. Like I do not enjoy the brainstorming part. I guess because there's a lot of thinking involved, and thinking sucks, to quote Beavis and Butthead. So um, yeah, so but I managed to do it. I always manage to do it every week. Every week I'm like, I'm never gonna come up with any ideas, and then I do. every week after week after week it happens. And right now I'm sitting pretty because I have like an idea. I've created this idea bank, and like I can just pull ideas out of there for a while. But yeah, I kind of forgot what I was talking about while I was talking, actually.
That happens
Welcome to the
sometimes.
show. You've just been initiated and you didn't even know it.
We're lucky we don't call this Moonhawk Studios Presents Tangents.
That's
I
the
mean, that's
spin-off show.
much how my streams go. Like it's just if people are listening that are used to me from the stream, they know what I'm about. I mean, this is nothing new. I can't even blame this on the fact that it's 6 o'clock in the morning because people that know me from the stream are just like, oh no, she's like that all the time.
All the
I'm
time is
actually-
6 a.m. for.
I'm actually doing better than usual because I got coffee here. So I'm actually more than I would normally.
Yeah,
More
let's see what
on-
happens when the coffee runs out.
So you have your.
Oh my god. I'll just instantly pass out. Like, if I just stop talking mid sentence, do you guys know what happened? Like, I'm just telling you now.
The coffee ran out and we can just move
Yeah.
on.
Send,
Well,
send jolts through the internet. Wake up!
yeah.
Ah!
Oh, you'll be able to do that in the future.
No, we'll be able to
That's
send you
something that you're
coffee in the future. How about that?
I mean, the NSA will probably be able to send you a jolt through your cell phone, and then they'll act like it was an accident. Oh, the cell phone malfunctioned. See? And every cell phone is gonna be able to malfunction, just like I'll already have the back door like ready for this
I
eventuality.
mean, it could be better than, having a Note 7 fiasco.
Maybe that was a test run. It's all making sense.
Quick, get the tinfoil hats.
Illuminati are here. Illuminati's listening.
You guys are still on cell phones. I'm up to the cyber brain already. Click. Oh God, symbolism everywhere. What does it mean?
Oh.
Mm.
So do you have like a team of people who help you on some of your videos, like when you need stand-in characters, or do you like pick people from your community, or?
I have a link shell and a guild on. These are just like chat channels in game where if I need extras or people to help out, I'll grab people. For the last video I did, which by the way, it took me. I edited it on Monday, I think. It took me about between 10 to 12 hours to edit that video.
You're a crazy lady.
That's only editing. Like I'm not talking about the time that it took me to draft the script, write the script, do all the recording, both audio work and video work. Like all that was done on other days. I had all that ready on Monday, and it still took me like 10 hours to
It's
edit.
my box.
People don't realize, like with the yeah, it's my box. But let's go. For those who don't get the joke, in that video, well, no, I can't spoil it. I can't spoil it. I almost did, but I won't. But
Shoot,
yeah,
you missed an exclusive.
you can always watch it. But yeah, people don't realize how time-consuming machinima is. Like,
Mhm.
it's just overwhelming sometimes. The amount of work that goes into a 1 or 2 minute video. Most of my videos are like maybe 45 seconds to 1 minute long, and they routinely take over 6 hours, sometimes 8 hours to edit. Like, I mean, is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it depends on the type of video. But this video ended up being like way more tedious than I had anticipated because I always write the script and then I don't think about any of the editing that it will take. I'll think about that later. And this one, I was like, oh my God, I wrote a script that's going to involve a million tiny pieces of video, and I will have to cut it all up and like it all. Oh my God.
Yeah, the cutting part's the
realized
easy part.
Yeah, it is. That's the easy part. The hard part is making sure it all syncs and
Oh,
that audio will sync with with the character's lips moving and all that. I'm good at it now. But it's still, it's machinima. It takes time. It takes time. But yeah, I've been wanting to do more like live action stuff. I'm like looking into that direction right now to do some more like generally weird and wacky things.
Implying
maybe
your
not
videos are already weird
exclusively-
and wacky.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, you know what? That's how I like to do. I like to keep it weird. Somebody's got to. I mean, shit. I mean, can I cuss on this show?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We don't
Okay, yeah.
fucking care.
Never fucking
Right.
stopped us.
All right. I just want to make sure because I just
They haven't even blocked any of the ads on my channel yet.
That's shocking.
my stream is mature audiences actually. 'Cause, there's really not a good reason for that. I mean, well, maybe there is. I guess people that watch the stream could tell you more about that. No, nobody's getting naked or anything. Like, don't worry. But I just like the freedom to be able to talk about whatever. You know, that's mainly why it is that way. Because I mean, as you can see, I'm not great at staying on task, like staying on the topic. I like to wander off, and who knows where I'll go. I don't like to. I don't like limits. I don't like walls. Man.
As you
Stop trying to
casually
speak
see her getting a hammer and right. Ah, I can speak
It's like
in
stop
English.
trying to put me in a box.
Yeah, I completely forgot what the original question was. Like, it could have happened 1,000 years ago, as far as I'm concerned at this point. I don't even.
So
Yeah,
is-
YouTube is fun.
I was about to ask, is there like any videos that you regret doing, and are there any videos that you want to do more of?
That's a good question. Let me think about different videos. I think the only video that didn't quite come out quite the way that I wanted, might have been the one about Jloe. Jloe Aliapo, because with that one, I was trying to go in kind of a different direction. Like I was experimenting with maybe something less funny, but more like drama. And I did
And the
it.
comment
and
sections were like, "What?"
actually, not a lot of people watched it. That's the thing. You can't make a video that's not relatable. Like it's not going to do well if people don't relate to it. And that's, I mean, aside from that not being super relatable, the bigger issue to me is like, I mean, to me, it's always about like, do I enjoy this? Do I find this funny or good? And it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I just felt like I feel like comedy is just my better cup of tea. And I had to do that video though, like to find that out, right? You got to experiment to know what you want to be about. But the videos I want to do more of, definitely, definitely more butts videos. Yeah, more videos focused on butts. That's definitely like my guiding star there, or moon, I guess, would be more appropriate. Going
So
forward.
Butts 2.0 confirmed.
Yes, butts 2.0. Definitely on the way. Butts of Eorzea happened, so I got to do like butts of Doma, butts of Alamigo, I guess. Oh, that's gotta happen. Yeah, I'm a busy lady. I got a lot of butts to cover.
Soon coming raid butts.
Raid butts.
Butts to uncover. You mean butts to uncover, right?
Butts to uncover. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. It's just gold. I mean, like, I'm pretty easily entertained. It doesn't take a whole lot for me to find something funny. I guess as you might notice if you spend any time at all on my YouTube channel. So yeah, it doesn't take much. That's why a lot of times like it's kind of hard for me to know like, will other people find this funny, or do I just find it funny because I think everything is funny? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just have to do what I think is funny most of the
I mean,
time.
you're looking at the wrong video here, but you said this one character video didn't get watched and it has like 25K views.
Oh, the Jloe one. Well, that was a
Yeah.
while ago, so it could have accumulated views, like over time. But still,
Well,
I don't think
Now
that
25,000 people have seen it.
now, yeah, it has accumulated some, and I guess it did end up doing okay. But the other one that I would mention would be maybe I did a video called the Three Pigs, and I love that video. Like I still think it's great. But in the beginning, especially, like mainly when I say something like it didn't get watched, what I mean is like the initial analytics, because that will really
Oh,
usually show me like how well was this received at first. Over time, people might like find my channel, they like it, they want to watch other videos. But initially, the analytics for Three Pigs like was pretty terrible. Like basically, no one watched it, and this was like super difficult for me to deal with because it took so long to make. It took me like 3 weeks to put that video together, and I was like, why isn't anyone watching this damn video? Like what? And well, I think it's just because, Three Pigs, the Three Pigs, you read the title and you're just like, what does that have to do with Final Fantasy 14? Nothing. What does that have to do with me? Like, well, not nothing. It's not relatable. It's just like, it was like a story. And so, like, I did another video after that called Murderous Tales, which did really well.
Oh yeah,
But
I've
in
seen that come up on the Reddit a few times.
I
Blood
I
for the
did
Blood God.
Blood for the Blood God. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite videos that I've done, and it was very well received. But in it, you may notice that I included a reference to Three Pigs because she's talking to this little girl in the video, little cat girl, and Zepla's like, have you heard the one about the Three Pigs? Like that's a reference to my other video that no one fucking watched because I was just like, please
Watch it.
watch it. And some people did. Some people did watch it after that. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lesson from it. Like, don't just try to make stories that are not relatable to people. Because I found, honestly, that no matter how good the story is or how funny or clever it is, people won't care unless it's relatable to them in some way. If there's something about it, they can be like, oh, that's kind of like me, or I've seen that, anything about it. Now, sometimes I will just ignore that and go with something totally weird, which is what I'm working on right now. Just because gotta, like I said, I gotta keep it weird. But most of the time, I try to think of something that will be relatable. But the next video will probably be super weird and not relatable, so don't listen to me. I guess I'm not even following my own advice.
wow.
Yeah.
I passed on the Beach City joke.
So
And now we've lapsed into uncomfortable silence.
I'm just like gulping down coffee right now. I'm like, okay, I'm done talking for a second. Gulp, gulp, gulp.
So you mentioned that
no, go ahead.
you mentioned that one video you're making. How far out do you plan? Is it just like a week at a time? Do you have videos stored up for like a month?
You killed the guest.
Planning. I
I just realized what I said.
Don't tell me it's all a lie. I'm looking at your Patreon page, looking to invest, and I'm like, hey, she says she writes it like it's a job. All right.
I mean, I definitely do. I definitely do treat it like a job, and it is my job. I do this full time, this and streaming full time. But I just was laughing because I'm imagining like how cool it would be if I could map out a calendar and be like, okay, I'll have this idea on this day, and then it'll take me this long to do the video, and I'm gonna have all like it's just the way that the the way that the work happens is it's often hard to know what will happen week to week. But I normally plan like the way that my week will go is on Monday, and I will start if like assuming that I don't have anything in the idea bank, like there's no ideas, starting fresh, right? On Monday, I will come up with an idea. I mean, this is a best case scenario. Monday, I come up with an idea. I write the script on Monday, and then Tuesday, I will draft it and I'll edit it. And I will. It also kind of depends on the type of video, because if there's a lot of voice actors needed, then I will have to source them out. I'll have to ask people, hey, you want to be in this video? And then sometimes if there's a lot of if there's a lot of characters, that will take more time to get all the audio back from them. If there's just one character, maybe it will take less time. But see, like already we got some spanners in the what I don't even know what metaphor this is. A wrench in the workshop thing happening. So yeah, then after that, I will spend like let's assume best case scenario again. Tuesday, I get all the voice acting. Like this never happens, but I get all the voice acting done from everyone on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, I can edit it on. I can edit all the audio and all the video together. Well, then no, actually, I have to record all the stuff in game, and basically all the recording has to happen, all the editing has to happen. Usually, a video can take anywhere from a day to a week to. I try to not write scripts nowadays that I know are going to take me more than a week to do. But sometimes if it happens, then I'll have to write something else. It really all depends on what the idea is that I had on Monday, or if I like honestly, a lot of times maybe I won't have any script written on Monday that I think is good. Like maybe I just think, oh, this sucks. Everything sucks. I suck. Why am I doing this? Right? That happens on Monday a lot. And, um, so if that happens, then I'll try it. Then I'll on Tuesday I'll write other stuff, and by the time usually I get something done, script done by Tuesday, and I can usually put out one video every week. Sometimes if things are going really well, I can put out 2 or 3 videos in a week. It really depends on the nature of the scripts that are written and all that. I'm trying to put out more content lately, but I was on vacation last week for my birthday, and so yeah, I'm back in the swing of things. I came back from vacation and immediately hit the grind and worked like a 12-hour day and released the video right after that. And now I've gotten a new script ready, and that's you can kind of see like why the workload is all wambly pambly. It's kind of like just depends on it's like an artist schedule. But I do ideally try to get a video done a week. I have to do that really, and I also have to do a one extra Patreon video every month. Every month I put out an extra video that is exclusive to my Patreon supporters. So that happens too. But I was gonna say something else. I don't remember what it was.
So I guess my final question is there anything you're looking forward to like come out for Final Fantasy 14? Like whether it be something to help you make your videos or just something gameplay in general?
Well, yeah. I don't know if this will happen, but I really would like an emote to come out that just shows the character like talking, like a talk emote, like some extra emotes. Every time a new emote comes out, I'm excited.
Just
'cause it
the
makes
mouth,
my
like the
life
just
easier.
like just the mouth flaps and hand expressions
That's
back
all I
and
can.
forth as if conversing.
Yeah. Right now, I have to be really creative with trying to make the character appear to be talking, because I use a combination of macros and emotes to make it seem like this is a conversation that's really happening. But more emotes are always good. I know I played World of Warcraft for many years, like just an ungodly amount of time, and I still actually have a sub to WoW, and I played it yesterday. Okay, I still play WoW. I'm not addicted. I don't have a problem. But yeah, they have a model viewer in that game, and it's just great for machinima. And so, like, I mean, I don't think it's an official model viewer, but it allows you to like. It's like a program that will run and let you see all the models and all the characters, and you can put backgrounds there, and it can really help you. Like, maybe you want to do a video with a boss. That's like you want to animate the boss talking. And that's totally impossible because if you try to do that, the boss will normally, melt your face off.
Yeah. Funny thing, the enemies don't tend to like stand around and let you film them.
Yeah, they don't care for that. Though I did in my Zervan video with the big giant demon Zervan boss. There was a part where I I created a party for that video, and I was just, like I advertised it like Zervin party, no kill, only kiss. And I got a whole bunch of people to come into that dungeon together with me, and I was like, okay, let's all stand here and kiss and just blow kiss. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what
I think it's more, what are they doing with theirs?
I mean, it's a fond memory, and I think Zervin liked it too. I mean, he didn't say anything, but he must have liked that. He always he doesn't get any love. It's always just people only there for the loot. Well, not me. Not me.
Skip
not that
or
time.
disband.
It was special to me.
Nice. All right, we're getting towards the end here, so of course the natural conclusion would be: do you have any events or anything that you want to promote? Places you may be appearing.
Well, I'm always streaming. My normal stream schedule was suspended last week because, like I said, I was traveling. I was in Romania getting my my undeath, the gift of undeath. I had to go to Romania to go and accept that. So now that that's out of the way, I'm going to be streaming normally again, starting today, Thursday. God, what is my stream schedule? I think it's. I think
does it say Sunday through Thursday, 8:30? Yeah, it says 8:30.
Oh, it's 8:30 BST now.
Yeah.
BST. 8:30 BST. I think that's sometime maybe in the late afternoon for people in America.
Yeah.
It's
but-
British Standard Time.
That's right. That's
which
right.
is also
And,
GMT, I think. But
And,
anyway, so yeah, it's like 5 hours ahead of Eastern Time, I think.
Of note, for
so.
those of you who don't know about Zepla, she lives in the Ukraine. So that's why she
Yes.
has a weird time schedule compared to us.
Yeah, I live in Ukraine, but I try to make a stream schedule that people in US will still, conceivably be able to watch. And even if you don't care about Final Fantasy 14 in particular, you can always just come to the stream and talk to me about literally anything that comes to mind. Just don't be rude, and don't be don't be a creepo. But we can talk about whatever. I've really just used the stream as a way for me to talk about just anything in the world or in outer space stuff. Like there's just so much silliness that happens in the stream. So yeah, they're on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/ZeplaHQ. And I'm also on Twitter at XEPLA. That's Zepla with an X, where I'm trying to post, excuse me, Jesus, it's this coffee. I'm not used to drinking it. But anyway, on Twitter at XEPLA, I normally try to post stuff about my life, and I try to, post things that are entertaining to people. And I am starting to learn how to open up more, right? I'm trying to learn how to take down this shell around my personality and open up more to people on Twitter. So you can be a witness to that on Twitter. And I guess that's it. And YouTube, of course. Please sub to me on youtube.com/ZeplaHQ. More and weirder stuff on the horizon. I can guarantee that.
All right, bonus question for you here. Have you done a lot of interviews, or is this one of your first?
This is my first interview, and I'm so excited that anybody wanted to talk to me. Like, I just can't believe that anybody wanted to talk to me at all. Like, I'm just shocked and delighted.
Well, don't worry. As you get bigger, more people want to talk to you, Zepla. Just remember, we were the first.
I can already see it in the comments now. We're going to have Forever Alone memes posted.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I am a meme at this point. Like, I feel like I've become a meme.
Yeah, if you go to the subreddit, yeah, you're a meme.
That's fine. I'm actually I don't post a lot on the subreddit because it's scary.
You don't, but your videos end up there a lot. The 6 races of Eorzea just showed up today.
Oh my god!
And last I saw it had like almost 1,000 likes.
Oh wow! What? What? Really?
Let me see if I can find that link for you. I can send that to you after the stream.
I'm so glad someone else posted it. I'm so scared to post things on the subreddit. It's just so scary to me.
And Reddit is like that line from Star Wars where he says, "Never will you find a more wretched scum and villainy." and yet,
Oh my god, yeah.
we love Reddit for its necessary evils.
Oh, right
I
now
am
it's the top thing on the
so-
hot.
That's awesome.
Oh,
This is news to me.
it's 328 upvotes
What? What?
and 81% upvoted.
Wacky wild
So
stuff. I
An
can't
exclusive-
believe it.
An
The
exclusive
last thing that
deal
I
on-
posted on there got like 0 upvotes. I think I deleted it out of shame, actually.
there's that.
Well, that's
Okay.
great. That's great. Well, if you guys ever want to talk to me about, like Star Wars, Star Trek, Aliens, Twin
Oh
Peaks,
no, I think we
weird
just
stuff,
triggered Mac for another
so-
half hour.
So
Oh,
I call my stream the Planet Zeptune, and it's funny because I heard you guys call this show the Starship Moonhawk. Is that right?
yeah, Moonhawk
That's
Studios
funny
presents,
because
but-
I call my stream the we also call it the Starship Zepter Prize. So like, oh, that's funny.
Well-
It's like a Starship docking bay we're having
Well,
right now.
this is okay. I got to make this quick because we gotta mention our next week's guest, and I'm sure
Okay.
you've got some more caffeine to ingest.
Oh my god, I'm bouncing off the wall. I'm about to jump out the window.
All right. So the deal is the show here, Moonhawk Studios Presents, is named after my science fiction series, Starship Moonhawk, which I have a comic
Mhm.
illustrator, and now the lead actor who plays Admiral Gilead Cobalt in the animated series based on it. It's just debuted on last night.
Oh yeah, I heard y'all talking about that, and
Right.
that's so awesome. I really want to see I want to see it. I'll find the
All right.
link and check it out.
Stick around after we're done recording, and I'll give you a couple of links to help you out.
Sweet. Awesome.
All right.
And
All
Mac
right.
just made a friend.
Hey,
Friendo.
Zepla, you've been super cool, and I'm really excited that we were able to give you a positive experience for your first interview.
Yeah, me too.
Really,
That's
and
great.
thank you for working with our time zone too. That's always a really nice thing.
Oh, sure. I know, Ukraine is in a weird spot, and that's okay. So,
All right, so now next week our guest is going to be Ben Heck, aka Benjamin Heckendorn, who is, man, his accomplishments are legion. He has the benheck.com podcast, and of course he's a console modder who has done some rather interesting things with making classic gaming consoles into portable machines as well as classic computers and stuff like that. He's actually a little bit all over the place when it comes to his credits. So we'll get more into that in next week's show.
I imagine the show's probably going to boil down into talking about old computers and or consoles.
The only thing I have to add to that is I'm really getting tired of Google's algorithms now. Literally, Keith and I were talking just before the podcast about spats, which are those little cloth coverings that you button over your shoes to keep dust off of them.
Yes.
You know, old-timey type stuff. I won't say why I was looking that up in reference to something else more lascivious. But, yeah, so I'm looking up spats on Google, and all of a sudden now, all of Google ads are advertisements for places like Historical Emporium, so that way I can get, suits and spats
Wow.
and vintage fez. That's my whole ad array right now. So thank you so much for that, Google and Bing. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a fun time on tonight's podcast, and of course, be sure to, I need to start saying this more often now. Be sure to like and subscribe, because this is our home now. In YouTube, we trust, and we really need your eyes on the project here, so that way we can keep producing quality programs, so we can have lovely guests like Zepla on the podcast. But with that in mind, of course, be sure to tune in next week when we have Ben Heck on the program. And until then, thanks for listening and stay safe out there, kids.